If you don't have a good waiter, waitress, estimator,
Yes.
and they don't communicate exactly what needs to be done in order to make this a wonderful experience, and in our particular case, get a car repaired properly, it's not going to go well.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the airing of grievances. Very nice to have you along with us. I'm Eric Reamer, this is Robert Grieve, and today we have a fantastic behind-the-scenes look at the major players and the role they play in the repair of your vehicle. Before we get to that though, if this is your first time visiting us, welcome. We're super glad that you're here. Do us a favor if you would, please give us the thumbs up if you like what you see on this video. That helps the YouTube algorithm give us a little boost to other people who need to see this kind of a video. And if you are an old timer or a regular around here, welcome back. It's good to see you. And of course, we always remind people to don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notify bell. That lets you know that every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. in the Mountain Standard Time, we are going to post another video. And remember that these videos are not industry pieces for the body shop or collision industry, but instead they are pieces of information for you and your family and your friends. And so if you feel so inclined, the one thing that we can do is post great videos, but the one thing that you can do is help us by sharing it. So there you go. All right, Robert, happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you.
Thank you.
To you.
What's on your mind today?
Well, you know, we all deal with a bunch of different businesses, and there's different roles and responsibilities depending on what business we go to. If you know you have a plumber come into your house, you're dealing with one person, generally speaking.
Sure.
You maybe have a helper, or if it's a big job, a couple of them, but you have one person that you're dealing with there.
Yeah.
You go to a body shop, there may be several different types of people that you're dealing with, or that are at least working on your behalf.
Okay.
And if you go to a restaurant, you may find the same thing. So wanted to try and wrap all that together and talk about some similarities between some of these things.
Between different industries,
Yeah,
and the experience for the guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the critical responsibilities of some of these people.
All right.
So let's take a restaurant.
All right. I know a thing or two about restaurants.
I thought that you would. I thought that you would, and you probably do too. They have several people you may interact with. Maybe a host, hostess, that type of
Somebody
person,
to greet you when you walk through the door.
right? A waiter, a waitress.
Mm-hmm. Someone to serve you.
Yeah. And the kitchen staff.
Someone to fulfill the order.
Fulfill the order.
Right.
Now, you're probably not going to interact with the kitchen staff unless the chef comes out to say hi or, you know, something along that lines.
Then you're at a restaurant that is a little more expensive than normally I go to.
But if we talk about the hostess, or host, it's, you know, they greet you, they get your name, they kind of give you a rundown of how long it's going to take to get you seated.
Yep.
And what the process for that is. They may give you, you know, something will buzz you when your table's ready, or they may call you over the loudspeaker, or, you know, sit down over there, we'll come get you.
They're the first point of contact.
They're the first point of contact, and then when it's time to seat you, they'll bring you to the table, hand you some menus, and introduce you to your waiter or waitress, generally
Yes.
speaking.
Yep, that's how that goes.
And then the waiter or waitress is going to come take your orders, and you know, now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of the experience.
Absolutely. There's an introductory phase.
Yep.
And then there's the meat and potatoes.
Right.
Restaurant
That's funny.
pun intended.
Funny. So let's talk about the waiter waitress.
Okay.
They have some very, very critical responsibilities. And I think the most important is to get your order right. You're communicating to them what it is you desire.
Right.
They write it all down, or in some fancy places, somehow they remember it.
Yeah, I'd write it down.
But the people in the kitchen, they don't know what you want until the waiter or waitress, which is your point of contact,
Right.
brings that order to them and says, this is what that table of people over there would like.
Yeah,
and then they get busy.
What they wrote down or punched into the computer is the plan for the meal,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I would think we would all agree that it's kind of critical that they get it right. Well, I'm talking about the wait staff,
Absolutely.
because the people in the kitchen have no idea what the conversation was,
Right.
or what it is you want, or how you want it,
Yep.
unless it's communicated by your point of contact, the waiter or waitress.
Seems reasonable to me.
Okay. So if you want your steak rare
Or medium rare,
or
as
medium rare,
the case should be. I mean, might be.
that's got to get communicated to the staff in the kitchen, and then the staff has to have all the know-how and everything to create that the way you want it.
Right tools, the
Hand
right.
it back
Yep.
to the wait staff, and
Yep.
the wait staff brings it back to you in most cases. And then, so that's that.
Can I just ask a small question here? Mm-hmm. Here in the airing of grievances, it is unusual for us to talk about the restaurant experience. Is that what you want to talk about today?
No, I want to talk about some similarities and how important they are.
I kind of thought that was where we were going.
Yeah. So, most body shops, in our case, I'm going to speak about our case.
Sure, that's what we know best.
We have a receptionist, and Laura is an amazing person.
Yeah.
Always got a smile on her face. She'll answer the phone to get some information from you. She'll greet you when you come through, and then she's going to hand you off to one of our estimators.
I see where you're going. Laura, as the receptionist or
Host.
hostess, right? Host or hostess of. Yes, I get it. Okay, I
Okay.
got you.
So here's the critical piece. Your point of contact, well, you could always go and talk to Laura, or you could always go talk to the host or the hostess. Your real point of contact is going to be your estimator.
Yes.
And that estimator is going to be the go-between between the kitchen staff or the technicians
Right.
and you.
Yeah.
And then we have, possibly an insurance company that might be involved too, that they're going to be your point of contact, and they are arranging all this stuff for you.
Well, then it seems to me that the estimator, much in the way a waiter or a waitress would be, is the most critical person, in large part because they need to listen, learn, observe, and then
Manage.
build the plan.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. All right.
So, while they're not the most important person, they're kind of the most important person for you, the guest.
Right.
But there's many, many people that are involved in getting your dinner ready.
Absolutely right.
So, one of the critical factors of the estimator is the estimate, or the blueprint, or the repair plan.
Yep.
And that has got to be thorough. And it's got to include everything that you need to get your car fixed properly, because the technicians are kind of like the kitchen staff. You can't just drive the car in and say, fix it. they need a repair plan. They need to know what it is that needs to be done, what's
Right.
agreed to, or repairing, are we replacing, what are all the steps necessary. They all are captured in that estimate. And that's why an estimate is very, very important to you, because it contains how this repair is going to go and what the ingredients of the repair are going to be.
All the way down to the most minute things.
Very
the
clips
that hold things together, right? And
Yep.
yeah, okay, I'm with you.
So, like a restaurant, if you don't have a good waiter, waitress, estimator,
Yes,
and they don't communicate exactly what needs to be done in order to make this a wonderful experience, and in our particular case, get a car repaired properly, it's not going to go well. So when you're looking at estimates, whether they're from the insurance company or whether they're from your body shop, you want them to be the most inclusive they could be. You want them to be the most thorough, because that's what the kitchen staff is going to be working off of.
Right.
In our case,
the technicians.
technicians.
Yeah,
And if, let's just say the waiter waitress forgot to put a vegetable there, well, the kitchen staff is going to say, what vegetable goes with this?
right.
And that's going to cause your order to stop being made.
Right.
It's going to cause them to come to your waiter waitress, flag them down, ask them. They're probably going to have to come back to you, ask you,
Yeah.
go back to the kitchen, and then the process starts again.
And that delay doesn't serve anyone.
So when you're looking at estimates, a lot of people flip through and just look at the amount.
Sure.
The amount is not nearly as important as the thoroughness of all the lines in front of it. That's really, it's what I want you to take away today is the estimator writing a good estimate sets up a good repair. And if you start with half an estimate or a not so good estimate, and it doesn't have the pre and post scans in it, it doesn't have the this and that in it,
Yeah.
well, these people aren't going to do all that stuff.
Right.
And that's bad for you.
Yeah, really, you make a great case, and I love the illustration, of course, with restaurants. As you know, I've had decades of experience at every level in the restaurant industry, and the parallel is startling, right? And how they develop the plan here and at body shops around the country really does determine the outcome of what is delivered back to you. And if it is a repair plan that is missing key elements, regardless of how we get to the missing part, right? I mean, if we've there's lots of ways to leave stuff out. That's where the value of the estimator really comes to play, is to be able to say, okay, I understand the inner workings of each and every one of these pieces, and got to say it in this one too, and the energy that affects other parts and places on the car, right, in an accident.
And you may get your dinner back, and it may look great,
Right.
just like your car.
Yes.
However, when you cut into the steak and see that it's well done,
Oh, no.
instead of exactly the way you wanted it, well, that causes a problem for you.
Yeah.
And it causes a problem for the business. And, it's the estimator is very, very important. The people working behind them are just as important.
Absolutely.
You don't want your bread delivered with no butter,
Right.
and you don't want your soup delivered with no spoon. Those are things that stop the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The estimator's critical. The technicians here are critical, but the repair plan is everything.
The repair plan or the order that the waiter waitress fills out to hand to the people that have not been part of the conversation, it's very, very critical. And when you're going through, if you went to 2 different shops and you get a 2-page estimate, for X amount of dollars here, and you get a 5-page estimate for, obviously it's going to be more because there's more going on. It isn't that necessarily they're more expensive, it's that they're more thorough.
Right.
And more thorough leads to a better experience and a better repair.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
really just wanted to, call out the nature of how important that point of contact is for you.
Yeah.
And what that point of contact does for you. And you can tell how the experience is going to go many times when you sit down at the table, can't you?
You get a sense, right? When you meet the person who's going to be your point of contact and your the one who's going to develop your repair plan or your menu, you really do get a sense for how that's going to go. And I just for the record want to say how appreciative I am of the staff that we have here.
Love them.
So thorough, and even as recently as this morning, we heard praise for our estimator, and I'm going to go ahead and call him out, Robert, downstairs, who takes the extra time to pick up the phone and call the guest and let them know where the vehicle is along the way, and it just simply doesn't happen in so many other shops.
Not to mention, he got an email from an insurance adjuster yesterday also saying, "Wow, what a thorough repair plan."
That doesn't happen every day either.
No, it certainly doesn't. I was happy to see that. But
absolutely.
Anyway,
Rob, I think it's good stuff, and thank you for making it easy and digestible. See what I did there?
Oh, that's
for all of us to understand the behind the curtains, if you will, in the collision industry by giving us a parallel to something we have all experienced. And so we want to say thank you to you for joining us. If you're still with us this far in the video, do us a favor, please give us the thumbs up. It just takes a second. It's free, but it really does help the YouTube algorithm share this message, which makes something scary, an accident, less scary with information, and information is power, knowledge is power. And so we're grateful for you coming and sharing this message, viewing it, and then sharing it with others. And to that end, Rob and I wish you a very happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.